Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video by yours truly. It's been some time since Topaz's release, and I've been in silence testing everything behind the scenes with her kit to truly grasp her performance, her value, all the intricate depth to her kit, and then present to you guys my final thoughts on Topaz. There's been a lot of talk around town with regards to her performance. I know a lot of people are calling her mid. Some people are, I think I've honestly ultimately heard mid, if I'm being completely fair. And I've told you guys this before. When it comes to character performance in these kind of games, the community generally, for the most part, generalization, has one consensus on it. If they're not meta, they're horrible. There is no in between. There's no nuanced discussion. Oh, she's not as strong as the strongest units, then she's mid. And that's why I want to talk about everything in her kit. And I've spent a great deal of time. I'm telling you, I've been playing nothing but Topaz when I get onto this game since her release. I want to go over everything that I said she was going to be before her release. And then I want to go over some things that may have caught me off guard, which was really like maybe one thing, honestly. But like, what did I say before her release that actually came true? Starting off with number one, energy recharge wonkiness. She does in fact have every bit as an energy recharge problem as I said she would. Outside of getting that 60 energy or so back when you use Numby for the first time inside a battle, thanks to her technique, after that, the energy recharge, like managing, goes down the freaking drain. And this becomes a problem, especially when you're trying to speed run on a sweaty level and compete with zero cycling and stuff like that. Which, by the way, with regards to zero cycling, she is mid. And that is the meta. Zero cycling, that's the meta. With regards to that, she is mid, because it's very difficult to zero cycle with her when you have to like rely on Numby landing on the appropriate target that also has the memory of chaos buff that does splash damage, and she only does single target damage. There's a number of like issues revolving around her speed run. She's not the best speed runner in the game, and that's okay. This unit is one of the more versatile DPS units. She's not just a main DPS. She's a dual DPS. She's a debuffer and enabler for follow-up attack synergies. You can put her on the team with the Blade, or with the Jingli, or not a Jingli, I'm sorry, with a Clara, with a Jing Yuan, with a Himiko. She has so much versatility that it's insane that she's able to deal the damage she deals while also having that versatility. That's more enjoyable and more valuable for me. But she does have an energy recharge weakness. There's no getting around it. Energy recharge rope doesn't even fix the problem. And I did say that before she even came out. Now, Ting Yun can be used on the team to fix this and help with this, right? But the biggest value of Ting Yun is being able to rock dance, dance, dance and battery your unit in that very first like turn. Soon as the freaking battle starts, Ting Yun pops burst out the window, immediately activating dance, 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 enabling your team to get a huge speed advantage before the other team has a chance to go. Battery this person, they pop off. She gives a benediction buff, gives them even more speed. Like that is her bread and butter. That's why she's in the divine and absolute god tier. With Topaz, she can do this, but it relies on RNG. And what I mean by this is if you battery up Topaz, she only has a smidgen left of energy recharge, even if you have E6 Ting Yun, to where if you auto attack with her, ult comes up. Here's the problem. Her skill. If you use her skill to retarget the little indicator on the enemy's head, that is Numby, which gives the follow-up attack bonus. If you use her skill to re-trigger the targeting of that, that counts as the first hit of Numby's technique, which gives a 60 energy recharge. So with Ting Yun on the team, keep up with me here. If she were to battery Topaz has to already have the target little thingy on the enemy's head that she wants to have it on. If she doesn't, then you have to use her skill to retarget it, and you waste 60 freaking energy. Whereas on the other hand, if it lands on the perfect target, then you just auto attack with her, pop ult before Numby hits with his spin attack, get another 60 energy back. So it's a cringe thing like that, where it's just like, oh my God, I'm irritated, because the more people there are on the field, the less chance you have of the target landing on the person's head. And again, this is just from the meta sweaty optimization level. That's annoying. Her skill is also something that caught me off guard. Her skill has way more complexity and mechanical savviness to it than I thought it would. That was one of the situations that adds complexity and like difficulty to utilizing her. Another one is her ult. If you pop her ult and use her skill, the skill counts as a stack of the ult. So you know how the ult doubles Numby's damage? If you use her skill while her ult stacks are up, it's going to consume one of the stacks and utilize it on the skill. Now this can be a advantageous thing or a detrimental thing. More detrimental than advantageous, because the only way it's truly advantageous is when you have Bronya on the field. Bronya, as we all know, can use her skill to bring Topaz back to the front line and give her that like 100% damage bonus shared between the skill and Bronya's signature light cone. But you have to use Numby's skill during her ult to get that bonus, because Bronya's buffs all go away once that turn has been commenced. So in that literal niche scenario, using her skill during her ult is beneficial because it gets a massive damage boost from Bronya. But outside of Bronya, using her skill during her ult is a bad thing, because like if you use any attack from any other character, it's gonna make that stack be consumed because Numby's gonna get advanced forward and do that big attack. But if you auto attack during her ult, the auto attack damage can be like 40, 50k, which is nothing to scoff at. And then he follows up with the stack, right? That's really nice. So there's another complexity to her skill and her ultimate with her basic attack. It's not just brain dead on the optimization level. You really have to think when to use these things, which makes her kit very challenging. I would say her kit is the same difficulty as Jing Yuan's kit. Now, some people look down on difficulty. Some people have a brain dead mentality and they think difficulty equates to bad. No, I don't. I think it's real cool to a degree. Now, sometimes it's just bad kit design. Like the Ting Yun thing, I think there was their bad effort at attempting to deviate from the Ting Yun meta with future units. I think they're trying to low key make people stop using Ting Yun, because they did the same thing with Jing Liu. Jing Liu, you can't just open up with Ting Yun battery on her, because if you do, you're wasting a stack on her attack outside of her enhanced state. So I think they're trying to deviate from Ting Yun meta with newer units. I can see it happening. They were trying to do the same thing with Bennett and Genshin Impact, and it just kind of wasn't working out well. And then eventually they dropped a whole new synergy that just kind of lowered Bennett's value. But getting back on topic, I think Topaz, outside of sweaty meta, she's not as strong as Imbiber Lune and Jing Liu. I also said this before her release. She's not as strong as them at all. But I wouldn't expect a unit so versatile and like dual DPS oriented as her to be as strong as them, because that would just be fucking broken. Okay, well, she can dual DPS, she's an enabler for follow-up attacks, and she's the strongest unit in the game. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Then again, Jing Liu is disgusting. So that's why I'm not tripping on that front. She doesn't need to do all those things. Furthermore, moving on to my next point, she still hasn't gotten access to her dedicated set. That's going to be a massive game changer. Right now, I'm using her outside of her signature light cone as well. So no signature light cone, no dedicated set. If we throw in these two variables, I get a feeling she'll be much closer in damage when considering everything else she's capable of doing. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is she's free to play friendly. And what I mean by this is I'm participating in a tournament. You'll be able to see that footage here soon. But I am able to 2-cycle with Fire MC, Gwynaifen at E2, and my Ting Yun with a Topaz. Nobody has signature light cones except Fire MC has, freaking Japard's light cone, which I feel like is the bane of existence for losing 50-50s on the standard banner. I feel like everybody pretty much has Japard's light cone. Either way, it's free to play obtainable, and you can buy it from the shop, or it just doesn't matter. Putting that on the Fire MC, it's not that big of a deal. But it's a very, very free to play friendly team. And I'm able to 2-cycle with it with the Topaz, again, Gwynaifen, Fire MC, and Ting Yun. So she's free to play friendly because you can put the free to play her to store light cone on her and she'll pop off, or you can put a sword play on her at R3, R4, R5 and she'll pop off. So I love her kit from that regard. She's not a bad character in any way, shape, or form when it comes down to that. Now, speaking of 2-cycling and stuff of that regard with free to play teams, I can 1-cycle with her all day, no matter pretty much any follow-up attack. So I played her with Blade, I played her with Jing Yuan, I played her with Kafka. Clara, I have to still build up. And I even played her with the Herta. Herta was definitely a little bit weaker because of the format of the MOC. It just doesn't have a bunch of units to spawn for Herta's follow-up attack to proc more, and that's huge on Herta's performance. She can become one of the most broken units in the game when there's a bunch of enemies out there enabling her to keep spinning. But I've played her with all these units and they're pretty much all capable of one cycling on my account. Again, absent of signature weapon, absent of dedicated set. So when I take all this into consideration, I don't need her to 0 cycle. Okay, again, outside of meta, this is a phenomenal and fantastic unit. People just get lost up in this, oh, she's not as strong as Imbibe Lune and Jing Liu. Well, Imbibe Lune can't do anything other than hyper buff himself and attack. That's it. It's pretty much all he can do until things change. Jing Liu is just one of that, is just an exception. I will stand by this. She's the most disgusting unit in the game because she's not just capable of hyper buffing. She can share the field with other DPSs and she freezes the freaking enemies multiple times during battle so they can't even move, enabling you to run no healer comps, no problem at all. Like this, she is just a freak of nature. And that's why I hold her in such high regard. It's not just hyper buff, it's dual DPS and freeze the hell out of them. So I get creative. It's just nuts. But Topaz is on that same level of value. Just she's not as strong as Jing Liu. That's the only difference. And again, I think if I had her signature light cone plus dedicated set, she would close that gap of damage a little bit more, but she still wouldn't have the value. But it's okay because she's a follow-up attack enabler. She has other values outside of that. So I did want to like share my thoughts with all of this because I know you guys were probably waiting on this video as well. She's a great unit. If I had to put her on the tier list, she's a tier list below Imbibe Lune and Jing Liu right now. She's S tier when regards to the meta. You take the meta out of the equation, speed running in essence. I put her in the same bracket as Imbibe Lune and Jing Liu. That's how good I think her kit is. Now, is it mechanically challenging? Absolutely. Will you have to change some things around with regards to how you change your rotations up depending on your using? Absolutely. But other than that, I love the way her kit is outside of her dry ass mid animations. I'm already over watching Numby spin. I was right about that too. That shit is stale. But yeah, outside of all these things, those are truly my honest thoughts. Now that all of that is out the way, I would like to showcase a free-to-play run with the team I just told you I used to cycle. Which one more thing I want to like nitpick about. The MOC supposed to be tailored towards her. Bro, that MOC is still tailored towards Imbibe Lune and Jing Liu. 30% splash damage to 2 destruction units who have the strongest single target and AoE. This is not even a freaking Topaz like tailor-made Abyss. That's another argument. Or Memory of Chaos. Not even a tailor-made Abyss for her because god damn it, fucking freaking Genshin Impact, guys. Holy shit, that game lives rent-free in my head permanently. It is not even tailor-made to Topaz. It's more tailor-made to Jing Liu and Imbibe Lune because you have these units who come back to life. That's not promoting Topaz. What in the hell, bro? It's horrible. Anyways, I digress. Let's go ahead and showcase this free-to-play friendly comp so you guys can see how Topaz performs even on a free-to-play friendly level. By the way, guys, we are going to let's make sure I can pause. We are going to be talking about Green Hyphen next. I just wanted to get Topaz out the way. We'll talk about Green Hyphen and her performance in one of my future videos as well. We got to get them both out the way. But yeah, as you can see, we opened up with Green Hyphen's skill, which is going to give the Fire Kiss debuff at random to a plethora of the enemies out there. This is a good synergistic team with techniques, right? 2 Ting Yun techniques, shield from Fire MC, buff from Topaz, and then finally open up with Gwen Hyphen. Now, this is I'm going to tell you about this. So we battery Topaz. We discussed this earlier. We're going to open up with her skill. Boom. Burning every single target so that she can have her burn dot on them and debuff them. And then we put the benediction buff on Topaz. Now, I want to talk about this because this is important. This is a run that I had to reset a couple of times because I need the Topaz or Numby targeting to be on him. I need it to be on him in specific so that I don't have to waste a skill point and her skill and not get this 60 energy recharge. Basically, this is what I was telling you about. Thankfully, the Numby dot is on the elite, so now I can auto attack, generate myself a skill, immediately pop her ult before Numby spins on him, and then get a free 60 energy. This is what I was talking about. So auto attack, spam ult, and now Numby's about to go, and watch her energy recharge at the bottom there. Boom. So that is how it's supposed to work with Ting Yun, but it's a pain in the ass if you don't have the Numby dot on their head, because if you're running into skill point issues. Now, one way around this, actually, no, there is no way around it. Never mind. I'm tripping. There's no way around it. I'm bugging. Okay, so right here, I love the Fire MC. In this format, the Fire MC is low-key divine tier because of this. Like the monkey, it's his bane of existence is the Fire MC. He just taunts him and look at the damage, bro. Bro did no damage. Yeah, so from here, Numby continues to pop off 80k damage right there. Now we have to make a decision. I believe we're running break effect Gwenhyphen, which is one of a couple builds you can run on her. We have to break his shield with her to get this cyclist, like 0 cyclist. So that's 49,000, very good damage. Boom. And then I think we were forced to use ult here because we wouldn't be able to clear it, you know, in 0 cycles. So we use ult, and now we're gonna attack with him so that we can get one of her stacks to finish off. Bang. Very nice. So now we go into this still on 0 cycle. Everyone has pretty high effect resistance so that they don't get freaking, you know, CC'd by that little slut. All right, so ult's up with her. Ting Yun's ult is now up, which is good. Going into the next cycle with a Ting Yun ult up is actually huge. Notice that I immediately opened up with her skill right there. I should have auto attacked. That was a misplay. If I would have auto attacked, we would have generated, we would have done more damage, generated an extra skill point, and she still would have ended up getting that little ult right there off. So I misplayed big time, is what it is. So now we're going to use Ting Yun to battery her back up so that she can pop her ult again. And the cool thing is I have Dance 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 activated. So now my Topaz can go again, even though she only has an attack percent boot on. Again, massive. Right here, we're okay, yeah, this is huge. We need to break her shield before she goes again, because if she goes again, she has a chance of debuffing or CCing one of my units, and I can't allow that to happen. So we want to break her shield so that she cannot debuff or CC. I keep using debuff so that she can't crowd control one of my units or have a chance of doing so. Furthermore, she can't deal damage to us either. Shield broken. Ideally, I wanted to break that with my break effect dedicated character, Gwenhyphen. But hey, again, mistakes are made. What I'm noticing here, guys, is that there's room for a 1 cycle clear with this very free-to-play team. So, and that's one more thing I want to talk about. I don't mind sharing damage amongst my units against the ape dunking on us. So long as nobody dies, we're okay. And since she's about to die, the only thing I have to worry about is making sure I distribute his Dunk Master Darius move across my unit. So now he's about to dunk on her next, right? And I'm okay with this. As long as he can't kill nobody, he can dunk on as many units as he wants to. So now we just have to make sure nobody aggroes him that has low health. And that's right now, that's Topaz and Gwenhyphen. Doing a little bit of pondering here. All right, so Gwenhyphen's up. We're trying to get her ult up, but man, she is struggling with energy recharge as well, guys. Energy recharge on her is a real pain. Oh, so he has Fire Kiss activated, Proof of Dead activated. Yeah, it's looking solid. What was I thinking about? I was probably thinking about skill point funneling. Yeah, I only have 2 skill points down there and 1 stack remaining on the benediction buff for Ting Yun. I probably go auto attack here because I need it. I'm pretty sure I do. Yep. So we auto attack the funnel skill point, and now Ting Yun's going to rebuff benediction on old girl and take the aggro of the monkey. Huge. I actually wanted to scale right here with Topaz, 2 skills, but she would have died and got dunked on. Oh my, 68 health. It's because he has 3 stacks and nobody can strip his freaking damage bonus. But we survived it. Hey, we still alive, baby. All right, so we dance right here. We were trying to clear this in 1 cycle, but we failed. Would have been so cool if we could have done that, but you know what? It is what it is. This is a super free to play friendly team. I'm proud of my little 2 cycle clear. But I do want to show you guys, we came very close to 2 cycling right here. I mean, 1 cycling, my bad, 1 cycling. I was hurt. If you're wondering why I'm pondering, I wanted to break his shield with Gwenhyphen, and again, I was forced to break it with another character. So it freaking sucks. But now we can finish him off before he even gets, look, we at the very top of the 2nd cycle. GG's. So we were very close to 1 cycling with a very free to play friendly composition. And now we can show off the builds. I think I recorded pretty much everything through. We can probably just skip this a little bit. Yeah. So Ting Yun, dance. Sitting at S2. You don't need S2, by the way. I think it works with S1. You just got to do a little bit more skill point managing. We are rocking a above 30% effect resist rate to give 10% crit damage to Topaz. And she's at 150 speed, sitting at E6. She's at 2700 attack, 117 speed. Because she has an advanced forward in her trace, you can keep her at 117 speed. She'll still go twice in the first cycle. And then you need to manipulate her speed on the second cycle with Dance, Dance, Dance. We are rocking this, which some of y'all might be like, what the hell? Why are you rocking that? Again, she was a dedicated breaker, even though I messed up miserably with timing the breaks. The idea was to break shields with her to contribute to a little bit more damage. But that's one way of building her. There's another way of building her as well. Yeah, so full-blown break effect, a little bit of attack given to Topaz. She's sitting at E2. Finally, our Topaz is 90 over 144 with 2,444 attack. I was just showing you the builds. I forgot I need to show off some of these builds. So yeah, Topaz, I treat her like Jing Yuan. I need my Topaz to crit as much as possible. So that's why I went for the very high crit rate. Also, her traces are highly invested. This is more than I normally invest in characters. I did that because I wanted to test her to her limits, because she synergizes with my favorite units in the game, Blade and Jing Yuan. Random arbitrary pieces. As you can see, a big amount of damage is left on the board once we get the dedicated set. That's actually huge to what she can do. I mean, that's huge, guys. The dedicated set damage is going to amplify her damage pretty drastically. But other than that, we do have the follow-up synergy, which is I think it's best in slot right now. The reason being is because her entire kit literally does damage. I mean, follow-up attack damage. So that 15% bonus is given to her basic attack, her skill, and Numby's follow-up attacks. And then you get a free crit rate on top of that. Finally, our MC, is rocking Japard Light Cone. No investment whatsoever. He's got HP there, defense. I just put as much survivability on him as I possibly could, because I don't have shit. And my boy still ain't E6, bro. Oh my God, the slander, the lack of love. And that's the team comp, ladies and gentlemen. All right, hopefully this video brought you some good value and insight as to how Topaz is performing. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side.